Welcome to Past the Vows. We have just watched Married at First Sight episode 29, which is the penultimate commitment ceremony. Any first thoughts?
It was a bit of a yawn fest. I didn't find it that interesting. I had to focus. I kept zoning out.
Yeah, because we know what is happening, we know the storylines, we know
Yeah.
the things people will say, and
It's because it was very much Philip and Stella, they're good. Alyssa and David, they're good. Rachel and Stephen, they're good. Scott and Gia, Beck and Danny, Sam and Chris, something a bit off, something not going right. It was like those last three obviously had their own things, but the first three, it was just generic. Like everything's just so swell.
yeah, let's talk about Philip and Stella. Yeah, they're in a good place. They're cruising like even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, I did think it was interesting the way that Stella was asked that compared to last week when you were basically pulling away and now you're like all in again. What happened? Because yeah, that is from like one extreme to the other.
No, it's not. Come on.
But on the other hand, it's not really because she just had a wobble.
Yeah.
It's all
Sometimes
right.
you feel when things are going really well, you just feel like
Maybe it's going too well.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
understand.
but it's not one extreme to the other, and yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah, Alyssa and David.
Yeah, they're putting on a show.
Is
We
that the
know.
most we've ever heard him say?
Yeah, it's like 1 minute more than a minute, and that's the most we have heard them. Like I don't know. I mean, the gaslighters. I don't know
Experts.
why they are get letting them getting away because 5 weeks in there is no I love yous. There is nothing
There's no talk about
fights.
intimacy, like is it still there? Is it still good? Yeah, there's nothing about fights. It's all surface level stuff.
It is because they are both for their influencer careers, and that's about it. Like
Yeah. Rachel and Stephen.
yeah, the less we talk about it, the better because
You're not a
yeah.
fan.
It's, I mean,
Steve-O and Rachel, as Alyssa calls them.
see, Steven and Rachel, we know Rachel is here for, well, everybody is for fame, but she's also for love. And
Yeah.
Steven, we don't know what is wrong with that guy, but he just doesn't seem to not
Yeah.
want to talk about it. Like,
Like his motivation for the show doesn't actually seem clear, does it? Like everybody else, it's clear cut. It's this and this, or just fame, like alone. But Stephen, it's just so unclear because I don't think he's in it for fame because he just seems a bit too awkward for that.
yeah, I don't see Steven having a
No.
influencer career. Uh, I
So
just
is
think
he
he's
really there for love? And if so, then is he not progressing at any kind of I guess they are progressing, but it's very slow. But is that just because of how he is? Or is it because it's him and her and he's not really attracted to her? Like, what is it? Because if he's there for love, what's holding him back? Is it just the person?
yeah, I think because Steven has this avoidant personality, like the humor he uses is to just avoid stuff like
Right.
talking about hard feelings and everything. He uses humor to avoid all those stuff.
Mm.
And we have Rachel, who is like a minefield, like she's a very sensitive person. At the same time, Steven doesn't know what to say and what not to say because God forbid you say the wrong thing, she will blow the building up.
Okay. Right. Who would you like to go to next?
Sam and Chris.
Well, Chris is not seeing Sam's side of things at all, is he? He's checked out, I think.
Yeah, Chris is absolutely checked out. I think he felt really humiliated talking before the group. And yeah, it's one of those personality mismatch. Sam, I understand, like Chris is completely avoidant when Sam tried to bring up the future and the
Yeah.
situation with how to stay, where to stay, and all. And Chris didn't want it, and then when Sam brought it in front of the group, Chris felt really humiliated and he just checked out. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
He
who-
couldn't get past the butt hurt, not butt hurt. Yeah, the butt hurt of like, oh, you're gaslighting. Like he's just heard that word, heard that he's gonna be, in his words, thrown under the bus to the group, and gone, nah, this ain't for me. See you later.
Yeah, it's For him, it is my way or highway, and what Sam pulled out in front of the group. I don't
Yeah.
think Chris appreciates, and Chris doesn't appreciate putting him in that situation. Felt humiliated and just checked out. He wrote leave, and even though Sam wrote stay, I don't think there is anything.
No, I'm wondering if he's going to walk out, especially because he said leave, Sam said stay. They had a hug that he looked like he didn't want to participate in at all. They went and sat on the sofa and he just said, I just want to leave.
I mean, he could have left
Well, he
because
could have, and I'm wondering if he's going to do a Gia and just give it a few hours and then the apartment.
we'll have to see.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll
that's
find out.
something we'll have to find out.
Or because it's homestays next, maybe he'll do what some other people have done and just not show up for the homestay.
He could do, I mean, he could do any of those things, but
Yeah,
he is very checked out from the
definitely.
experiment. Or
Right, Scott and Gia or Beck and Danny?
let's talk about Scott and Gia.
Well, they really went in, didn't they? They really played a good amount of their couch session in this episode. I feel like that might be the longest bit of one single couple's couch session that we've had in series so far.
Yeah, because Scott finally stood up a bit, not too much, but
He showed he doesn't have a backbone still, but maybe there's some kind of gelatinous version that's maybe hardened ever so slightly.
yeah, something like that. I mean, Gia would not appreciate the things Scott has said, and Gia is, I don't know, she has some deep insecurities. I don't know what it is like. Yeah, she kind of deflects anything
Yeah.
that any accountability she deflects, and she's one of the very good liars I have seen because she doesn't mind lying.
No, and the thing is, Scott lets her get away with it because they asked her, what happened? Why did you leave? And she was like, oh, well, basically, she was taking a lot of heat. And how do you think Scott felt? Oh, well, I told him I felt sick and I was leaving. When actually, she didn't. She said, I'm just going to the toilet. I'm just going to the toilet. I think she said it like 2 or 3 times to make it clear, I'm just going to be right back. Like that kind of thing. He just let her get away with saying that and didn't challenge it
Yeah, because we know Scott is
without a
a
backbone.
reality show without a backbone and also a reality show actor. So
Well, yeah. And then Beck and Gia basically both got told off about the messages. And I
yeah,
think the
that
whole
was,
group generally got told, we're not talking about this again. It better not come up again.
yeah, it's one of those things like Alicia could have dealt it better. She didn't, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things like the messages should not have been brought up. But Gia cannot see a woman like Beck getting the spotlight. That kills her deep. That hurts her. But yeah, as we said, I think today is a good coach session
Yeah.
because Danny got really clocked in. He
Well,
was talking shite.
yeah. Well, just before we move on to that, Gia really didn't like Scott saying anything about how he feels or trying to give her his perspective or any alternate expected uh, perspective. He kept shutting her down, didn't he? Just talking over him. He's
Ye-
just
Yeah, it's one
he
of those
tried.
things. I
He
mean,
did try. At least he managed to say something rather than, yeah, we're good, everything's great. We're the perfect power couple.
I think it's because he had the support from Stella and he had how the feeling and
Yeah.
how they are noticing Scott being this, I don't know, like
Doormat.
submissive doormat character, and he got a bit of courage. But yeah, I don't think if you want to have some marry or be with somebody like Gia, you have to be open to start fighting.
Yeah.
But I don't think he knows how to fight. He's a good boy.
Seems so. And your favourites, Beck and Danny. You looked so uncomfortable, didn't
Oh my
I?
god.
I'll be honest, I think I zoned out the most during their couch session. It was just
Oh, I didn't.
yawn.
It was so good. It was so good for the Danny was really put on spot.
I mean, he was
Back,
fighting for his life trying to think of something to say.
yeah, back is in love with this man, and Danny is that person who just maintains things. Like, he just maintains the situations, kind of does whatever needs to be said. He
Yeah.
will say in the moment and walk away. Loyalty is not something Danny has. I don't know. I don't think Danny knows his feelings because irrespective of what people think about Beck and Danny separately, I think they do make a good pair
Right.
as a couple.
Okay.
And Danny could not see that because it's always about calculations.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's interesting what you're saying because he's always about, ride or die, ride or die. I'm sick of the phrase, I'll be honest.
I mean, he'll say anything.
Yeah.
Whatever he says,
But
he
then
doesn't mean
actually
anything.
he's more the opposite.
Yeah, he is completely like a chameleon, like
Yeah.
a master manipulator who he's a master manipulator because you won't know that he's manipulating. He just lives life by manipulating situation after situation after situation.
Yeah. It makes sense because he just wants to be on the show. Yeah, the whole thing with, oh, well, if you had to answer that question about can you see yourself falling in with Beck all over again, like if you had to answer it again, what would you say? And he's like, yes. It was like, well, would that be the truth? And obviously not.
It's
Obviously, he doesn't see himself falling in love with her.
I mean, this man, I don't know if he can fall in love with anyone but other than him. Like,
Yeah.
it is so self-centered. Everything is. He might come out as nice person. He's good as how do you say? He's good to run a restaurant, but I don't think he's good to be anybody's husband or.
Yeah, you're right, actually. That's probably a good job for him, like restaurant owner and just works there as the host.
Yeah, he would like maintain
Just
the situation, manipulate the situation to create some harmony. But
Yeah, I was thinking more like entertaining guests, but yeah, you're right on that too.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, he's a good entertainer too. He has charisma. Like
Yeah.
we don't deny that. It's just that whatever he says. With that, let's end the episode.
Yeah, it was a very short and sweet one. So I wonder, for homestays, would you like to do the two episodes back to back for our next episode?
We could actually do that.
Seeing as it's over
Uh,
2 nights, we could do like one podcast episode about just homestays.
it depends on.
I guess it depends how much we've got to say.
Yeah, because this episode we don't have much anything because
Yawn
we know
fest.
Fi- we know Philip and Stella are good. We know Rachel and Steven. They just say whatever they
Yeah.
say, but we don't see it progressing. And Alicia and David, it's a showman's, so they don't get questioned about like.
Anything serious at all?
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
things we have are these three couples, and we kind of know almost everything. The only
Yeah.
surprise I got is Chris writing leave. Like,
I I don't know. I don't think I was really surprised. Just because I don't know. He seems the type that if you upset him once, he'll just be a bitch to you and possibly cut you out of his life. So that's it.
I mean, it.
And also, what he was saying before he actually revealed that he'd written leave, like it's time for him to step into the role of dad and welcome fatherhood and stuff. Well, if it's time for you to do that and you want a little bit of time to prepare before that happens, why the fuck did you go on, man? Obviously, fame.
Fame, fairy tale, whatever it is,
Yeah.
because it's fame or fairy tale. Because for some people, it's fairy tale. We know that much.
Yeah, fame or fairy tale, and definitely not before fatherhood. For fatherhood, because they're just not compatible. Imagine having two newborns within a few months and trying to juggle a new career. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, I mean, we have to question the gaslighters. Like, I think the show is coming to an end. There
Yeah.
is nothing. As I said, the cream is not coming to the show. The market is flooded with more influencers and reality stars. You just
Mm-hmm.
don't find. You can't find 10 decent.
No, and now we know that Scott's not the only person who's been on a reality show before, because Danny has too. We
Oh
don't know
yeah,
much about it yet, but we've seen a little bit, haven't we?
yeah. Danny is on reality show too, and yeah, it's one of. I don't want to talk about it, but
That's fair.
the show is coming to an end. That much, like
Yeah.
maybe another is dead.
Well, we'll see.
All right, with that, let's end the show.
Bye.
Bye.